Hi, I'm Liz Hyde. I'm director of the Sedgwick Museum, and for this remix I'm going to talk to you about one of the photographs that we have in the museum's archives. It was taken in 1900 and it's of the excavation of a fossil rhinocerus skull from the Quarry in Barrington, about 10 kilometres south of Cambridge, and we have that specimen in our collections on display. The photo shows three men standing in a pit in the quarry around the partially excavated skull of the rhino. It's a posed photograph. They've clearly stopped work, arranged themselves to enable the photographer to capture the moment in which that fossil starts to become a museum object. From the men's clothes, from their poses, and the tools they're holding, it's clear to me that there's some sort of social, some sort of class dynamic going on here. And what I think might be unusual about this photograph is that we have the names of all three of the men. The man on the right, in tweeds, he's reclining on some sacking, holding his pipe and looking on. He's Ernest Lloyd Jones, an academic from the university. And on the specimen label, he's actually named as having presented this particular fossil to the museum. On the left is a man dressed in a black suit, with a watch chain, a tie and a bowler hat, standing over the skull rather proprietorially. He's C.E. Gray, the so-called chief assistant at the Sedgwick Museum, responsible for the care and the development of the collections. And on the label of the specimen, he's named as the collector. But it's the man in the centre that I'm most interested in. He's the grubbiest. His clothes are white with the chalky dust from the quarry pit. He's holding a shovel, and we infer that of the three, he's the one that has been most involved in the physical excavation. And he's named on our caption as Arthur Hardman of Barrington. From the 1901 census records, we know he worked at the quarry. He's described as a horsekeeper, and that he lived with his family on Barrington High Street. It's very rare for quarry workers to be named in relation to a museum's acquisitions of the fossils, and that's why I'm particularly interested in thinking a bit more about who he was. It's entirely possible that as an experienced quarryman he had gained really substantial and useful knowledge of the local geology and excavation conditions. He may well have been the person who spotted the fossil and alerted the museum in the first place. So what's actually going on here at the quarry as the fossil was excavated? How can we imagine the interactions between these three men? Was this an amicable meeting where each was respectful of the other's knowledge, experience, position? Were they having quite a laugh together? Or was it a strongly hierarchical meeting, with them behaving in ways which reflected their socially prescribed roles, and where inevitably Lloyd Jones would have assumed superiority? And what of the rhino itself? Would Arthur have ever seen a rhino in life? And how might he have understood how it came to have been in the rock? Might he have visited the museum to see the skull? And indeed, how might he have felt if he had seen the label that we have on it now? How can we give voice to Arthur Hardman in this story? What was the story he told when he got home from work that evening? It's up to you. Happy remixing.